Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I'm Tanvi Taneja with the Midday News. The headlines. G-20 nations agree to work together to address major global economic challenges. Prime Minister Narendra Modi invites member nations to join international coalition on disaster-resilient infrastructure. Calls for anti-corruption measures at the global level. Home Minister Amit Shah pitches for indigenous equipments to make India a leader in disaster response. At least 15 people killed in a wall collapse in Pune. And in ICC Cricket World Cup today, Pakistan take on Afghanistan, Australia face New Zealand. G20 nations have agreed to make united efforts to address major global economic challenges. The countries have affirmed to work together to foster global economic growth while harnessing the power of technological innovation, in particular digitization and its application for the benefits of all. In the final statement at the end of the two-day summit at Osaka in Japan, 19 members of the grouping, except the United States, agreed to the irreversibility of the Paris climate deal and pledged its full implementation. Briefing media, India's Sherpa Suresh Prabhu said,
on climate change, there are obviously huge discussion. India strongly believes that climate change is a reality. It's the biggest threat to humanity. It's the biggest existential challenge to biological life, and therefore we must strongly deal with climate change.
The Sherpa also said, India under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi played a very proactive, positive and forward role and raised various issues at the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who led India's delegation, raised many issues of global concern as well as highlighted the role of India's new innovation into making change in a manner that benefits all. And he said, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, that means we'll take everybody's help for everybody's benefit.
Mr. Prabhu said India has been championing anti-corruption measures at the global level. He stressed on the need for member countries to fight corruption and combat foreign bribery. Mr. Modi took part in the G20 session on quality infrastructure investment and development cooperation. He laid special emphasis on building a disaster-resilient future and invited member nations to join the international coalition on disaster-resilient infrastructure. Mr. Modi said such infrastructure is required not only for development but is also necessary to combat natural calamities. The Prime Minister had mooted this idea at the G20 meet in Argentina last year to help especially the smaller nations after calamities. At the third session of the G20 today, the Prime Minister emphasized on healthcare, including India's traditional healing measures, yoga and Ayushman Bharat. Mr. Modi said 5 A's are well known in health services: accessible, affordable, appropriate, accountable and adaptable. He said to this, India has added Ayush, alternate and traditional system of medicine, and Ayushman Bharat, the world's largest health insurance scheme. The Prime Minister took part in a special session on women empowerment also. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar told reporters that the session witnessed an in-depth dialogue on how to further empower women and work towards gender equality.
Prime Minister started by highlighting Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Vishwas. Prime Minister also underscored some of the women-focused initiatives which have been launched by this government. For example, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. He also spoke about the construction of toilets. He also spoke about how 78% of beneficiaries of Mudra scheme are women.
Mr. Modi also held bilateral talks with the presidents of Turkey, Brazil, Indonesia and also his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison. In his meeting with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the Prime Minister discussed the issues of expanding cooperation in trade and investment and defence sector. During his meeting with Indonesian President Joko Widodo, the two nations set a target of $50 billion for bilateral trade over the next 6 years. They also discussed ways to deepen bilateral cooperation in defence and maritime fronts. Mr. Modi also held wide-ranging talks with Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. The Prime Minister said in a tweet that the meeting with the Australian Prime Minister will add vigour to bilateral ties and lead to new areas of cooperation. Mr. Modi has since left for home after concluding his 3-day visit to Japan. Home Minister Amit Shah has pitched for indigenous equipments to make India a leader in disaster response. He was addressing the annual conference on capacity building of state disaster response forces in consultation with Home Guards, Civil Defence and Fire Services in New Delhi today. Mr. Shah assured National Disaster Response Force and State Disaster Response Forces of all assistance from the centre to strengthen and upgrade the force. He asked the NDRF to collaborate with the DRDO to upgrade their equipment to make them indigenous in the next 5 years. The Home Minister said NDRF should have more expertise in the area of disaster response as India is a natural disaster-prone country. The Women and Child Development Ministry has prepared a draft national policy for women empowerment. The draft envisions a society in which women attain their full potential and are able to participate as equal partners in all spheres of life. Giving this information in a written reply in the Lok Sabha yesterday, Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani said the draft addresses the diverse needs of women through identified priority areas such as health, including food security and nutrition, education, governance and decision-making, violence against women, and environment and climate change. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. In Maharashtra, at least 15 people were killed after a compound wall collapsed at a construction site in Pune's Kondava area late last night. All 15 belonging to families of labourers were housed in temporary shelters built at the site near Talab Masjid. More from our correspondent.
Search and rescue operations at the site of wall collapse in Pune is now over. 3 persons who were taken out alive are being treated at a hospital for multiple serious injuries. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis directed Pune Collector to conduct an in-depth inquiry. A compensation of rupees 4 lakh for the next of kin has been announced from the National Disaster Relief Fund. Pune Mayor Mukta Tilak called the incident unfortunate and said that the incident happened because of excess excavation in the area. The Pune Municipal Corporation has issued a stop work order for the ongoing construction on the site of wall collapse. Nitin Kelkar for AIR News, Pune.
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced an ex-gratia of 2 lakh rupees each to the families of those killed, 50,000 rupees to the injured, and the injured will be treated free of cost. Mr. Kumar said 15 people who died are from Katihar district of Bihar. He has instructed the Joint Labour Commissioner to go to Pune to oversee the treatment of the injured people. Torrential rains continue to lash Mumbai and its neighbouring areas for the second day today. Details from our Mumbai correspondent.
Mumbai received 127 mm rainfall with both western and eastern suburbs receiving adequate rainfall in the last 24 hours. The catchment areas from where Mumbai receives water supply have also been getting good rainfall since last 48 hours. Reports of waterlogging were reported from western suburbs of Andheri and Mahim Causeway. In suburban Ghatkopar, a big security wall collapsed this morning. However, no casualty was caused in this incident. Nivedita Bhorkar, AIR News, Mumbai.
Southwest monsoon has lashed most parts of South and Central Gujarat. More than 90 talukas in South Gujarat have received moderate to heavy rain in the last 24 hours. Vapi in Valsad district has recorded more than 200 millimeters of rain. The Met Office has issued a warning for heavy rain in South Central Gujarat and Saurashtra for the next 24 hours. More from our correspondent.
Southwest monsoon has covered all parts of South Central Gujarat and Saurashtra region. Most parts of South and Central Gujarat have received widespread rains during the last 24 hours. Vapi has recorded 200 millimeters rain, while Pardi, Kaprada and Umargam also received more than 150 millimeters rainfall. Heavy water logging is witnessed in low-lying areas of Surat and Vadodara city. One woman killed while 2 persons are still reported missing when their car washed away in flood waters in Bhavnagar district yesterday. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio tomorrow. It will be the first Mann Ki Baat program after Mr. Modi assumed office for the second term. Mr. Modi has been raising several important issues through the monthly program, which is aired on last Sunday of every month at 11 a.m. Chief Ticket Inspector with the Central Railway at Nagpur, Vijay Biswal, who is also a gifted painter, found a place in the 26th July 2015's edition of the program. Our Nagpur correspondent has filed this report.
On 26 July 2015, Prime Minister mentioned about Chief Ticket Inspector from the Central Railway at Nagpur, who is also a gifted painter, Vijay Biswal. Prime Minister called him Karma Yogi, who was addressing different issues concerning the railways with pen brush. He expressed his gratitude towards Prime Minister.
Mann Ki Baat changed the direction of my life. That moment gave me so much. It almost established myself as an artist of international repute.
People are curious about next version of Mann Ki Baat. Prime Minister has said that he will continue Mann Ki Baat to share joy, positivity and collective strength of 130 crore Indians. For AIR News, Gauri Marathe, Nagpur.
Statistics and Program Implementation Minister Rao Indrajit Singh today called for a statistical system which is trustworthy, transparent and prompt in the Indian context. Speaking at a function in New Delhi to mark the 13th Statistics Day, the minister asked the statisticians and data collectors to put out reliable data for the use of the government and the country. The minister also gave away the C.R. Rao National Award for Young Statistician to Dr. Shubhra Shankar Dhar, Professor IIT Kanpur. Mr. Singh said from next year, an award will be given to the officers and officials of the statistical departments across the country. Statistics Day is observed to popularize the use of statistics in everyday life. The day is celebrated on the birth anniversary of Professor P.C. Mahalanobis in recognition of his invaluable contribution in establishing the National Statistical System. The theme this year is Sustainable Development Goals. First batch of Kailash Mansarovar pilgrims reached Bundi from Gunji in Pithoragarh district after the parikrama of Mansarovar this morning. There are 58 pilgrims, including 9 women in the first batch. The second batch of 45 pilgrims, including 8 women, has departed for Kugu. According to General Manager of Kumaon Mandal Vikas Nigam, Ashok Joshi, the nodal agency for the Yatra, the pilgrims crossed over into Tibet through the Lipu Lake Pass located at 17,500 feet on way to the Kailash Mansarovar. He said that all the members of the batch are safe. On to sports news. In the ICC Cricket World Cup, Pakistan will take on Afghanistan while Australia will face New Zealand today. The Pakistan-Afghanistan match will be played at Leeds at 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and the Australia-New Zealand fixture is slated to begin at 6 p.m. in London. We have a report.
Australia is the only team that has qualified to the semi-finals so far. They are the top of the 10-team points table with 12 points from 7 matches. New Zealand have also played 7 matches, but they are third with 11 points. India too have 11 points, but they are second, having played a game less. If New Zealand win today, they will book a last 4 berth. Pakistan is 6th in the table with 7 points from 7 matches, and a win over bottom-placed Afghanistan today will take them to the 4th spot, strengthening their chances of sealing their semi-final place. India will play England tomorrow in their 7th round-robin game. Beating the host will take Virat Kohli and company into the Final 4. With Sabi Hassan Khan, Anuja Bhardwajan, Sports Desk.
And in FIFA's Women's World Cup, the United States defeated hosts France 2-1 to advance to the semi-finals. The US will now meet England in the semis on Tuesday. England defeated Norway 3-0 in a largely one-sided quarter-final clash on Thursday. And now, before we end the bulletin, here are the headlines once again. G-20 nations agree to work together to address major global economic challenges. Prime Minister Narendra Modi invites member nations to join international coalition on disaster-resilient infrastructure, calls for anti-corruption measures at the global level. Home Minister Amit Shah pitches for indigenous equipments to make India a leader in disaster response. At least 15 people killed in a wall collapse in Pune. And in ICC Cricket World Cup today, Pakistan take on Afghanistan, Australia face New Zealand. And for details of these stories and more, you can log on to our website www.newsonair.com. And with that, we end the Midday News.